may be crazy, but I think I understand now what people mean about going back in the past to fix things. And it's something that we do all the time. We go back in time all the time in our minds. We go back to things that happened in the past and we relive them as they were. And if we go back in time, we go back and fix them in our memory. So I was just doing this. I was thinking about the time I was admitted to a mental institution. I had a moment of weakness, and I have OCD. My mind gets stuck on thoughts, and I have that once a thought is in there, it will not get out. Sometimes for days. It just goes and goes, and it's usually under control. I've maintained it under control for most of my life. Sidetrack, doesn't matter right now. What does matter is this, is when I was sitting in front of a doctor, he was trying to diagnose me. I was shaking terribly. And his thought was, look, you're dealing with a lot of anxiety right now. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm cold. I have long COVID. I am freezing right now. I need a lot more clothing, otherwise that's what's happening. You are interpreting my shaking as some sort of drug-induced anxiety when I'm telling you I'm having a physical thing happen to me. And that's gaslighting. And I know it happens. The thing that pisses me off is that must happen to people all the time. They go and stand in front of the doctor, and because they believe the doctor is an expert, they believe the doctor knows what they're talking about, they will take their own experiences and put them aside, because that doesn't matter. The doctor is the expert. But I'm the expert in me. I know who I am. So when he was telling me, you're dealing with depression, no, I'm not. I know what I'm dealing with right now. This is something I've dealt with my entire life. My brain is stuck on a thought, and normally it's a random thought. Sometimes it's, I remember once about 10 years ago, the thought was, I need to get out of bed and check my Twitter account. I need to go and check my Twitter account. And it just kept going in my head over and over and over again until I got out of bed, picked up my phone, and realized I didn't have a Twitter account. It's a stupid thought. It just gets stuck. And then in December of 2022, I was fired because I spoke out about anti-Black racism. And I knew what was going to happen to me. I realized at that point, fuck, I'm going to lose my house, and we're heading into a point of incredibly bad financial times. I knew how expensive rent was. I knew how fucked I was. And I asked for help, and nobody helped. I reached out to everyone. Lisa Gretzky was the officiant at my wedding. I thought maybe that might say, hey, Lisa Gretzky, can you look at this evidence? Please look at this evidence and help me. And I did that months before I was fired. She didn't help. There's someone in Windsor who works in media. He's a gay person. He's very well known. He often speaks out on civil rights, but he didn't help me at all. And I've reached out to him. I've reached out to his boss. I've shown them evidence that I haven't shown the general public, and nobody helped. Shit, I'm rambling. This video is about how to go back in the past. We do it all the time. We go back and relive a moment, and we're playing out over and over and over again. Well, maybe what we can do is change the memory. Change it and say the thing we wish we had said at the time. So that's what I was doing. I was in my head, in the kitchen just now, yelling at that doctor from years ago, saying, who the fuck do you think you are? Why do you think that you know me better than I know myself? I was a bit more eloquent in my head, but why does that person believe that they know what I'm going through more than I do? It's arrogance. And I realized that it's common. Because what was happening there is I saw two doctors. The first person, I was very clear. I said, here's what I'm going through right now. I'm having a hard time at work. Like I just got fired because I spoke out about anti-Black racism. The union didn't help me. I'm going through a divorce. I'm going to lose my... I told them what I'm going through. And then I said, right now, I need a safe place to be for the next 24 hours because I don't trust myself. I have a thought in my head and I need it. As soon as that thought is gone, I will be fine because I know myself. They firmly believed that they knew what I was going through more than I did because they've seen it before. And I've seen Girl Interrupt It, and I realize there's a fucking problem with that hospital. Because if they're treating everyone that asks for help as if they are a crazy person, like the doctor that sat by my bedside, arrogant, so arrogant, was looking at me saying, I know what you're going through. And I was like, no, you fucking don't. I know what I'm going through. Who do you think you are? Go talk to my doctor. Talk to my doctor who actually does know me. You've known me for 3 seconds. You sat down for 3 seconds and you think you know me more than I do. Who the fuck do you think you are? And the answer is they think they're someone who has control over other people's lives. And if it was not for a fucking technicality and my threatening them with a lawyer, if it wasn't for that, I would have been stuck in there for probably a month. Because they think they know what is best for me. Like, and I understand to a degree where they're coming from because they think they know what they're talking about. They believe what they're saying. They think that what they are saying is the truth. That they believe they know what other people are going through more than that person does. And that is a fucking problem. Because the very first thing of any sort of therapy is meet the person where they're at. Like that's the first rule, is where is this person at right now? You have to get to know the fucking client before you can make an but not them. They looked at me, they saw that I was shaking. And I'm trying not to make this into a race thing, I really am not, but I just don't understand how I can be that fucking clear. Like, hey, here's what I'm going through. And for them to interpret it as if I'm an anxious drug person. Like, it's just silly. They did it again, though, when I went back in September of last year, when I was covered in a rash. A rash I now realize was caused by COVID and is a very common symptom of COVID. But no doctor could explain it. Like, I went to 3 doctors, including the Emerge and a couple walking clinics, and I showed them what was happening with my body. And all of them said, I've never seen anything like this. And then I went on to Reddit and, the COVID groups I belong to, and I was like, yeah, this is a really common thing that happens with COVID. But all of them are, no, you're probably going to have to see a specialist. They could have done a Google search. But because they don't know the answer, and off the top of their head, there isn't an answer. That's the problem with our medical system right now, is the experts think they're the experts, and Jesus Christ. I'm way off topic. What happened, though, when I went back in time, in my mind? I said those words to the doctor, and what I felt is I felt like my energy barrier kind of rebuilt. It's like my boundaries. I'm rebuilding my boundaries. I'm going back in time in my mind to change events into a more positive outcome. I'm saying the thing that I wanted to say, rebuilding my barrier, and then letting it go. Because you can't hold on to that shit. Like, what most of us do is we relive that over and over and over, the bad thing. And that stays in our energy field. It stays within our boundary. But as soon as we push back, we go back in time, we say what we needed to say, we change it, say, fuck you. And then I can almost feel like there's a barrier there now. There's more of a barrier between me and that other person. Because before it felt like he was getting into me. Like his idea of me was seeping into my energy field. But as soon as I push back, it's gone. And I think that's what they mean by going back in time. It's not an actual physical time travel thing. It really is, because again, the magic people of the 1800s, like, Jesus Christ, I'm just writing better now, Dion Fortune. Dion Fortune was interested in psychology. Like, that's how it started. How do you deal with mental attacks? So when they're talking about going back in time, maybe it's not so much magic as just therapy.